Let's have a conversation.
What's up, y'all? Good evening. Happy Thursday. We're getting close to the end of the week. Let's have a conversation. So let's dive right in to Big Brother Reindeer Games, episode 3. Hi, Ma. Hello, Lisa. Ma and Lisa have taken the lead in our fantasy draft as I have lost one of my draft picks, unfortunately and sadly. But we're going to get into that. So we start the beginning of this episode with Nicole telling Taylor that she wants to work with the girls. I mean, I think that what we've seen from the season so far, I don't think that the ladies are particularly connected in that way. They just all have a common goal where they're kind of saying, well, we don't feel like we can take out those men in the competitions, so let's get them out. But what we have seen so far in the competitions is that it's not like everything that they're doing is very athleticism heavy. So it's pretty balanced so far in terms of that. But hey, they might even have harder competition depending on what the last Santa showdown is in the final episode. They might have a harder competition against the women than they would against the men, for all we know. Because look at how the men have performed in certain things. Frankie, though, is like a what is it called? Like a utility player. He's just good at everything. Hi, Tasha. So after that conversation of Nicole talking with Taylor about working with the girls, we have Xavier having a conversation with Danielle where he's telling her that he's upset. He's like, I thought that you, Taylor, Josh had my back, but all three of y'all were on a winning team and you all selected me to go in unanimously. So he said, can I trust you? Can I not trust you? And she was just like, I'm sorry, you know, we kind of did what we had to do, but I'm still on your side. And then it showed Nicole kind of peeping that conversation and then running to Brittany and saying, hey, you know, Brittany, Danielle has been speaking to X a lot. And I thought that she was working with the girls. And Brittany's like, Taylor's kind of close with X too, but you know, Taylor said that she's a girl's girl. I'm like, not Brittany throwing that girl's girl thing at Taylor as if she's not saying girls as shade at her castmates who made a girls alliance and didn't include her in it. But we've seen that Brittany didn't even know who that X won his season, which was seasons. I'll just chalk that up to Brittany being disconnected from present day Big Brother. It happens. But I would think, well, I guess if you don't know who's going to be on the season, you're not going to really do the research, but you know. So we get into the first competition, which is the one with the music. The Naughty or Nice is the first competition. We know the format by now. Black people can't converse with each other. Otherwise, it's a cookout. That's true. It's a cookout if two black people are talking. They act like being in an alliance, you can't talk to others. Maybe they got that from BB25 because that's a BB25 characteristic. Oh, he's in an alliance, but he's talking to other people outside of the alliance and aligning with them. Well, that's kind of what Big Brother people do, to be honest. But anyways, so Nicole, oh, that was the second competition. Okay, so for the first competition, Taylor actually ends up winning the competition. So that means that she gets the choice of having an advantage not the choice. She gets an advantage for the Jingle Bell Brawl competition, and then she gets to give somebody a disadvantage, which turns out to be a relatively easy thing. She talks to X. Everybody's throwing their theories out there, but I'm just going straight to the most important ones. She talks to X, and X says, put me or Josh for the disadvantage. And then apparently, for whatever reason, Josh volunteered for the disadvantage, so she gave it to him. So the challenge was one of those tiny stacking challenges, which are so annoying to me. I hate the stacking challenges. But Taylor got a 2-minute head start to start before anyone else, which I knew didn't mean a lot in one of those types of challenges. And Josh got a 5-minute delay of being able to see his puzzle, which I think didn't make a huge difference anyways, because he's clumsy, and I don't think he would have won anyways. So those two things, the advantage and disadvantage for the Jingle Bell Brawl, were inconsequential once again. People are calling this the Walmart cookout. So the winner, Frankie's on my draft. That's why I'm reacting this way. Frankie had one more piece to put up, and he was shaking too much, and then his whole thing dropped, and then Nicole F. of all people ends up winning this thing. If anyone I didn't want to see win anything, it's Nicole. But anyways, Nicole ends up winning that challenge. Nicole, I guess, is actually still aligned with Frankie. I know they were on the same season, but I wasn't even aware that they were currently friends. But maybe it's not even a friend thing. Maybe it's just a thing where now that Frankie's number one is gone, there's nobody else that has been on a season with him except her. So they're kind of friendship by default. I don't know. They told him what the picture was. So yeah, so that just means Josh is bad at the game. Nicole won. I get 5 points. I made it. Hi, Debbie. So the tiny stacking challenge, somehow one of the most nervous, shaky players of all time, Nicole, wins the Jingle Bell Brawl. So they changed it up this time. Hi, Tammy. So they changed it up this time, the Santa Showdown. The Santa Showdown has been one versus one. It's been 3 people in the second episode. And the way they did this Santa Showdown was they had this hamster wheel thing that was actually a maze. And so Nicole, being the winner, gets to have the pick of who goes first. And the person she picks to go first has the biggest amount of time to complete it. So they basically have the biggest advantage. So she picks her boy Frankie, who I guess is now her new number one. And then afterwards, if the first person selected finishes the puzzle, the next person gets 1 minute less than them to complete the puzzle, and so on and so forth, until somebody finally loses. Where are we at? Just got home. Hold on. It's going on and off. Okay. Just got home. Hi, all. Guess I'm ready to be spoiled. Wanted to see the chat. So if any Black people work, that's what's been happening. We haven't been calling them anything. Hi, Ma. Hi, Debbie and Tammy. I only saw the last half hour, so I'm spoiling myself too. Colleen. Okay, so Frankie goes first, and they tried to make the edit real dramatic, but Frankie had 5.5 minutes and finished in like 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So he was significantly ahead of this time. So what happens next is that Frankie's deciding who goes next. A lot of people don't want to go. A lot of people he's aligned with do not want to go next. So he throws X in there, which was really odd to me because it seemed to me so likely that X was going to come back. Surprisingly, X did come back. However, he finished this thing in like 4 minutes and something. So everybody was like, oh, they were probably assuming like Frankie is just extremely good at everything. So they were like, if X doesn't do well, then how are the rest of us gonna fare? So that's what happened when X took 4 minutes and whatever and barely finished in his time. Because I think he was supposed to, he had 4:30, I think, to be able to finish, and he finished in over 4 minutes. And they were like, oh no, if X is taking that much time, it's probably actually really hard. So I think that X selected Brittany to go next. Brittany goes, and after Brittany was campaigning heavy not to be in this thing. I'm not gonna make it. I'm sorry. Bye, everybody. I know that I'm not good enough to do this. I really didn't want to go in. I have so much anxiety, crying, this and that. Brittany smashes this thing. I think her time was not even that far off of Frankie's time because she had 3.5 minutes and finished with a minute and something to spare. So I think when I looked at the clock, it said like 1:17. So I think she actually finished it faster than Frankie finished his, as a matter of fact. Yeah, they're always using that term at this point. I so agree. It kind of loses significance the more they overuse it and group in way too much. And the other thing is that I don't like is that you can actually be somebody who bonds with another person of color and want to work with them, and it's not a cookout. The cookout was such a specific thing where they literally said, we want to go to the end, all 6 of us as Black people. That was like you can only call something another cookout if that exact thing happens again. Otherwise, it's not that. I found out about 10 years ago that Danielle is my cousin. I've never met her. My sister reconnected with our cousin on Facebook. She told my sister that Danielle is her daughter. Oh, wow. Exactly, Mark. Exactly. So, like I said, Brittany smashed this thing. So the next choice, once we got to this point, I was like, either the 2 minute and 30 person is going home or the 1 minute and 30 person is going home. The 2 minute and 30 person has to do very well, and the 1 minute and 30 person has to do a record time. So the next pick was crucial. So it showed a conversation with Brittany talking to Xavier, and Brittany was kind of asking Xavier, who's the person who decided that I should be going in, because that was putting my game on the line and I could have went home. And I guess Xavier was basically saying Danielle was the one who was pushing the idea to him of putting in Brittany. So she was like, oh, well, if Danielle wanted me in, I guess I'm going to put in Danielle next. When I saw the way that Danielle was moving compared to the way everybody else was moving, I was like, oh no. Oh boy. I mean, she started to speed up and they made it look like she came fairly close to getting it, but the way she started was so slow. It took her like 22 seconds just to get the wheel moving. I was like, it's over. And I think that a lot of us, because of what happened to Danielle on her actual season, wanted to see her do well in this. Even though this is just Reindeer Games, it's not quite the same. It's just that we haven't seen her in so long. And a lot of us are rooting for her to win. And there was a lot of tears in the house, especially from, Taylor, X, and Josh, because they were all kind of like, Danielle walked so we could crawl, because there was a lot of biases that were happening back in her time. I mean, I know that they still have some of those now, but no, we have quite a diverse cast now. We have a 50% diversity rule, and we have like 3 recent people of color who won Big Brother on Reindeer games: Josh, Taylor, and X. So a lot of people were emotional about it. I was pretty sad that she's going home. I hoped that she would be in the final 4, but let's talk about this. I mean, the game has changed now, because now we lost the lady side lost a big strategist. So now we're left with Brittany, who's also a strategist. We're left with Nicole, and we're left with Taylor. Now, as much as I like Taylor, I wouldn't put her in the strategist category. I mean, Nicole, even though Nicole has won a season and came in 3rd in another season, she was kind of able to ride her alliances. But I guess having Frankie in there kind of helps her too. But I don't necessarily see this as women versus men anymore, now that they took out Danielle. X said he was protecting Danielle. I mean, if he was, I mean, that's kind of a weird statement. I know he said that, but the reason I say it's weird is because, I mean, he shouldn't have thrown her under the bus in that conversation with Brittany. Danielle at least took it like a champ. She wasn't a crybaby like another player. Yeah, Brittany. Age, time, she's a grandma now. But I mean, Brittany is about her age too, isn't she? How old is Brittany? Brittany. Brittany Haynes. No. Are you serious? Okay, so I'm way off on that. I wanted that too. I wanted her to win the whole thing. I still don't get why Britt didn't put in Josh. Be happy. Be happy, Lisa. Danielle's older. Brittany is 36. Yeah, I just looked it up. She's my age. She's the same year and everything. I was surprised. The name Brittany tells you. I would love to meet her and get the scoop on BB, but they live in Cali and I live in Ohio. How old did you think she was? I thought she was in her 40s. I mean, I didn't think she was the same age as Danielle, but I thought she was in her 40s. Because she was on Big Brother so long ago. But then I guess she was young when she was on there. So when you haven't seen somebody in a while, that was the it name of a few decades ago. So yeah, now we are down to 6. We have got Frankie and Xavier and Josh for the guys. And for the ladies, we have Danielle, Nicole, and Taylor. I think so too. I think that he should have campaigned. He was in a little bit of a bind, but the person that he should have wanted to go in, honestly, out of those 3 was Josh. I think he should have campaigned for Josh. Taylor's, for him. Danielle is for him. Well, at least as far as he knows, Danielle is for him. Josh is a little bit of a wild card. No one over 50 is named Brittany mostly. Danielle is almost 52 and Brittany is nowhere near that. Lord. You'll learn when you turn 30 how much things change. It's young-ish because she's the same age as me. It's young-ish. Especially if you're not actively doing competitions like that anymore, which she said she hasn't been. I wouldn't say that hamster wheel was lost mostly due to age. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say age was the biggest factor of losing the hamster wheel. It's just a random competition. X barely made that. And X is probably the most athletic one left. And he's 29. And he struggled in that hamster wheel. And he had an extra minute than she did. And if he had the amount of time that she had, he was out. Danielle looked great at 50 plus. You know what they say. Yep. So there we are. That was episode 3 of Reindeer Games. We have 3 more episodes left. I guess next, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Monday will be episode 4. Tuesday will be episode 5. And then episode 6 will have 4 players. And those 4 players are going to duke it out and compete it out for the title of Reindeer Games champion. It was presented in my Discord of saying, whose status can this improve or impact or take down? To be honest with you, I think that it takes down Cody's legacy a little bit, not just because of this, but because of how poorly he performed in the Traders. And then another poor showing here, even though I know he's saying he didn't get a fair shake. And that's somewhat true, but, losing early a couple of times, getting blindsided on the Traders and losing early here, not a good look. This makes Frankie look better because Frankie was underrated as hell. Not by me, because if y'all ever heard me talk about Frankie, which was all the time, I was like, Frankie is a beast. Frankie is a beast. So I think it raises his stock. I guess it probably raises Taylor's stock a little bit because now we're kind of seeing what she can do without the press of just being automatic person that they're trying to get out all the time from the beginning. There's no bullying or anything going on here. Let me see. Brittany's strategic game, and she's very conniving. She's very conniving and convincing. I think it kind of raises her stock a little bit. I don't think she cares that much. I think she just wants to win the money. I don't think she cares about the clout. X, I think it just shows X is just really good at comps. I haven't really seen him influence the game in a huge way, aside from winning comps, but he's extremely good at them. So I'm willing to give him a comp beast title because he's been in every Santa showdown so far. And Nicole is Nicole. Call me a hater, but this doesn't do anything for or against for me. She's the same Nicole that I remember her being. But hey, she's in a decent position right now. Frankie has a great chance. Super smart and social game. The only thing is, I think that Frankie is going in a sense that if Taylor were to win the Jingle Bell Brawl, Frankie's going in. I think if Brittany wins one of those, Frankie is going in. I think that if any of the ladies except for Nicole wins, Frankie is going in, and even Nicole might do it. I don't know. True, Ma, and somehow no idea I'm still here. Never thought I would be. I had a tough 20s, y'all. I had a tough 20s from about 22, 23 up until late 20s. Wow. You wouldn't believe how terrible my 20s were at that time. But here I am, going towards the 40s. So you just live life and you see where it takes you. I can't stand Nicole either. And when she starts with the tears, I'm like, oh, you're not in a worse position than anyone else. You're not disadvantaged in this game. Stop crying. It's just irritating. And the reason I don't want you to pick me is because I'm not the biggest threat. I'm like, stop talking. I've actually had less of an issue with Josh Martinez on Reindeer games than I have with Nicole. And you know how I feel about Josh. Maybe it's just the edit and I don't have to hear him that much. And he's done pretty good. But Josh is not bothering me that much. She's bothering me a lot. So, as of now, I might say, Frankie is the Cody of the remaining players. So I think Frankie's in a pretty good position. I think Taylor's been floating herself along. I mean, I know she won a comp, but did she win 2 comps? Either way, she's been floating herself along. She has not really been in danger. She lucked out in this episode because she did not even have to compete in that hamster wheel thing. I can't stand. I lost my brother early 30s. Sorry to hear that, Colleen. I'm sorry, Colleen. Thanks, Ma. Miss him every day, my only sibling. She won the team. Oh, yeah, that's what I was forgetting. I knew she won something else. Yeah, so I guess she's won 2, but she's won 1 individual. But the thing is, she hasn't really been pressed for anything in this game so far. So, she's in a pretty good position, I would say. And yeah, that's about it. Brittany's gonna Brittany. I think Brittany is the most influential voice left in the house, especially without Danielle there. She's definitely the most influential voice. X does what he does with the comps, like I said. And that's it. I'm looking forward to episode 4. We're halfway through the season. Before I go, predictions. Who do y'all think is going to be going next? And who do you think is the favorite at the halfway point to win the game? I'll wait a couple minutes for y'all answers. Oh, you read my mind, Colleen. I don't know. I said that Josh goes episode 4. But that's just a complete guess at this point. But I'm saying that I said that after episode 1. I was like, I think Josh goes episode 4. But it's so random that it's hard to predict. But that's my guess. If I had to guess, my guess would be Josh. I would love it to be Nicole, though. I actually would. I need an eye for eye, so I'm hoping Britt goes next. You see, I'm not rooting for Brittany, but I'm also not even strongly against her, to be honest. There's bigger fish to fry for me. I can't stand whiners, and Nicole is the poster child for whiners for sure. Josh is annoying. It's gonna be Frankie and X at the end. That would be something. That would be quite a showdown. Frankie and X. Nicole or Josh go next. I'd be happy with either of those two. Santa, please grant our wish. Cameron, I can't with you. If you're going to talk about Brittany nonstop for the next week, I wouldn't mind Britt going. Sorry, May. I think Taylor may also go depending. Yeah, the power is going to determine a lot. That's the whole thing. This is a harder one to predict who goes out because of no evictions and vetoes and HOH and all that. It's just power and competition. So it's very hard to say because we didn't know this is a whole different format that we got today with the person who goes first gets the most time and everybody could go type thing. So we were all of our picks were at risk in this game. All of us who made draft picks, they were all at risk except for Nicole. So it was like whoever gets picked next, it's almost like, oh, it's Thursday. Did I miss House of Villains? Shoot, I missed House of Villains. But anyways, it's almost like House of Villains in the last episode where everybody was passing around the briefcase and the last person holding the briefcase wins. Well, he didn't end up getting a win, but that's how they made it seem. Trial run on these cops. Man, why are you defending her? Because you picked her. She's still a good pick, but she's just a crybaby. Lisa wasn't at risk. That's 2 weeks in a row that Lisa was not at risk. I mean, Lisa was at risk because both of her people were not selected, but nobody selected them, so she didn't have to be at risk. Like Lisa said, mind blown. I believe she just had a panic attack due to self-doubt and anxiety. I mean, they all had self-doubt and anxiety. I don't know about the panic attack part. I'm down for pots and pans comp. Josh would be the king of that. Josh has been really low key in the last episodes, the last couple episodes. Yo, hey Holly. I know, right? Yes, people have been saying that, and I agree with y'all. I agree with y'all that they need to integrate some of these competitions into the regular Big Brother because it takes away the aspect of strong physical guys just being able to win everything. And I always say, if I just want to see the most physical competitors go against each other, I'm just going to watch sports. I have sports for that. This is not sports. This is supposed to be social and strategic and maybe like a hint of athleticism. I think that's probably the reason why he hasn't annoyed me that much, because he has not been getting many DRs. So I guess when I don't hear him speak that much, I like him a little bit more. I just finished the episode. I'm upset that I missed House of Villains. If I had remembered, I probably would have watched House of Villains first and then came on here after, but it's okay. I'll catch it on the flip side. I did watch Survivor, though. I watched Survivor this morning. I still have to make my Survivor recap. What's his name? The dude that got out. He was so arrogant in that tribal. Talking about Mama J has so much. Drew, there we go. Mama J has so much to worry about, and I get through this and I see my path to the final 3, blah, blah, blah. I know. I would love to see that. By the way, y'all, Traders 2, they put up the flyer today. I think season 2 drops January 12th. Yeah, January 12th. Traders 2 is going to drop. So I'm going to be watching and I'm going to be recapping. Sound like a plan? Drew, they need innocent bride standards. Drew, the praying mantis. Drew had, and he was so bitter. Like, he was so angry when he didn't get picked to go on the island. And then he was like, "Oh yeah, I know the reason I didn't get picked, and it was the same thing that happened to me back in high school or in elementary school." And I'm like, "No, it's not. No, it's not." I didn't feel for him at all. With Bobby Light gone, I'm not caring much about House of Villains. Yeah, I'm gonna have to catch House of Villains in the AM, I guess. Middle school, high school, whatever school it was, I just don't see the connection here with him not getting picked for those things. I just didn't see the connection. This season of Survivor has been one blindside after another. Excitingly, it has been exciting. And his boy could have given him that idol, but he chose to use the idol on himself. So that was one thing I was going to mention, but I didn't do a live on it yet. So I'm not really going to dive too deep into that. But he used the idol on himself, knowing that basically nobody was going to write his name down. Jake has been growing on me for some reason. Cochran, Christian, and Carson were all fun nerds. I liked Carson. And I liked Carson's friend. I forgot the name of that guy, but the tall one. I met him at the Survivor event. I forgot his name. I'm not rooting for lawyer. Katora has rubbed me the wrong way since she was just after Bruce from the beginning. I just didn't like that. Told us his life story. Boy, we do not care to go watch Julie like you were told to. I want to get a family portrait and the dog anxiety shat on the floor while I was about to look at the proofs. I left. Go babysit the 49-year-old. Oh yeah, that was kind of funny. Anyways, y'all, I am going to get into a Survivor recap probably tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. There's nothing else on. Oh yeah, I can catch up on a bunch of stuff tomorrow. That being one of them. I mean, I watched the episode, but I mean, I can catch up on the recap for that. And that sucks, Holly. I hope everyone has a great night. Oh yeah, the Survivor finale is next week. Yeah, that's what's up. Going to be interesting. And I'll talk to all of you tomorrow. Peace.